Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Um, my name is Michael Bravo from the Office of Assemblymember Christopher Ward's office. And though the Assembly member couldn't be with us today, we do have a message to share with him, to share from him.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for our Senior Resources and Scam Stoppers webinar. My name is Chris Ward, and I have the honor of representing California's 78th Assembly District. I'm pleased to host this webinar in partnership with the Contractors State License Board, the State Controller's Office, the Department of Financial Protection, Department of Insurance, and the Department of Real Estate to share critical information to protect yourselves and your family from fraud and scams. Unfortunately, adults aged 60 and over are often targeted by scammers, with fraud affecting seniors at higher rates than other age groups. It's crucial that we are aware of the signs of scammers and have the current knowledge of how to prevent falling victim to some of these acts. It's my hope that this webinar and presentations will equip you with tools to guard yourself and protect the assets of financial security that many of you have worked so hard to achieve. As always, you can feel free to reach out to my office if you require any assistance with state-related issues. And one last note before we start, I wanted to inform everyone that this webinar is being recorded for anybody that you know who may be unable to attend. I hope you find today's webinar helpful, and I want to thank our guests in advance for joining us here and speaking to these issues. Thank you.
All right, and with that, we will be kicking it off with our first panelist, Natalie Watmore from the California State License Board. So with that, Natalie, go ahead and share your screen.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Natalie. Again, my name is Natalie Watmore. I am an information officer at the Contractors State License Board, and that's CSLB for short. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what seniors should know before hiring a contractor to work in and around their home.
Natalie,
Yes.
I am actually looking at your notes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not getting your full slide.
Okay. Sorry, one second. Apologies. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. How is that? Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Sally. Again, my name is Natalie Watmore, and I'm going to go into a little bit about what seniors should know before hiring a contractor to work in and around their home. First, I want to tell you a little bit about CSLB. We are a 15-member board of public members and contractors, including a senior citizen organization representative. We protect California consumers by regulating the construction industry, and we license nearly 285,000 contractors in 45 classifications. We have quarterly meetings and a quarterly newsletter. If you'd like to reach out to me after the seminar, I'd be happy to get you signed up to find out when our upcoming meetings and newsletter are coming out. Our Senior Scam Stopper program has been going on. We've been going around the state since about 1999. We partner with different legislators, state and local agencies, like the ones that you're going to be listening to today, law enforcement, district attorneys, and community-based organizations. We touch on topics like door-to-door solicitation. So when people come and knock on your door, we're going to tell you exactly how to respond to that. High pressure sales, any scare tactics, when people demand you for cash, illegally large down payments, and verbal agreements. Last year, we hosted nearly 70 senior scam stopper events, both virtually and in person, reaching thousands of seniors across the state. Now, let's get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty and why you should always try to hire a licensed contractor when you need some work done on your house. First of all, you're in a group that are very trusting. Seniors are very trusting, and a lot of scammers actually really know that, and they know that you're vulnerable, and they're going to try to take advantage of that. They're going to try to manipulate you. They're going to push as hard as they need to get you to say yes to them, to buy their services. And they're attracted to life savings. Maybe you're a homeowner, maybe you have a nice car in your driveway. They're scouting out these locations because they know chances are a senior lives in that home. I'm going to see if they need any construction work. So how can you avoid some of that? How about not answering your door? This is something my mom taught me as a child, and I think it holds up very well for all of us. Just don't answer your door to strangers selling their services. And just say no. No is a full sentence. It's okay to say no. You're not going to hurt their feelings. They're literally probably just going to go move on to your neighbor's house after that. And don't ever make any cash payment. Anytime somebody is selling you services, construction services, maybe they say, "Hey, I have some leftover concrete from a job I had up the road, and I can give you a really good deal on your driveway for $1,300, but I'm only taking cash." That is a red flag. Hard no, no, thank you, and you cannot have my money. That's the only thing you need to say to them. Also, if you are looking to get work done on your home, be sure to get everything in writing because verbal agreements are not binding. I know some people might be used to a quick handshake and you just trust that the other person is going to hold up their end of the bargain. No, not in this day and age. Be sure to get everything in writing. Also, this is a California law when it comes to construction and home improvement projects. Down payments can only be 10% or $1,000 of the contract price, whichever is less. So don't ever pay more than that for any type of home improvement project. And when you are hiring somebody, please always, you can actually visit our website and check their license number to make sure that they are current and in good standing. You can even see if they had any penalties against their license from the past. You can also give us a call at 800-321-CSLB or 800-321-2752. And if you have been scammed, this is what the homepage of our website looks like. There is a big button on that page that will take you through the process of filing a complaint. You may give us a call, you can do this online, or you can email us and we'll help you navigate you through the process. Next, I want to talk a little bit about tips for hiring the right contractor. So when you're ready to make any home improvements on your property, this is the right way to find a licensed contractor. We want you to get at least 3 bids because the bids are going to help you get an idea of what the project costs, but you also get to know a little bit about the person who you're going to hire for your home improvement projects. And that's going to prove really helpful for you because you want to work with the person you feel comfortable letting in and around your home. Ask to see their pocket license. On the photo that I have to the side here, that is an example of what a pocket license should look like. And it should have a 6 to 7 digit license number on there. And their name and contact information should match from their photo ID. So if their name on their pocket license and their photo ID should be identical. You can ask for proof of their liability and workers' compensation insurance. Primarily, if they have workers coming to your property, they need to carry workers' compensation insurance. Otherwise, the homeowner could be left on the hook for any damages or injuries incurred around the job site. So always be sure if they're bringing workers that they have workers' compensation insurance. Make sure to get a detailed written contract before you make a down payment and before the work begins. You want to know exactly what you are going to have done to your property before you move forward with anything. And you want to get that detailed. Anything that the salesperson talks to you about in their pitch needs to be outlined in the contract as well. Don't let any of the payments get ahead of the work. I know it's a little, you have to make sure that the contractor is holding up their end of the bargain or their end of the contract. So check their work before you pay them. Also, again, pay no more than 10% of the total contract price or $1,000, whichever is less when it comes to your down payment. Keep all project documents and payments and photographs in a job file. Keep everything that's in writing together. You never know what could happen with a construction a job, and you want to make sure to have all the documentation necessary in case you do need to contact CSLB and file a complaint. You have all of the information we would need for an investigation. And seniors have 4 years from the date of construction to file a complaint. But my suggestion is not to wait. I don't want you to go through 4 years of stress with having to deal with a potential construction complaint. Just call us right away. And if you didn't already know this, in California, ages 65 and up have a 5-day right to cancel any contract. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about solar projects and reminders. Solar is booming in California, and I just want you to pay attention to a few little minor things before considering going solar or having solar panels installed on your home or potentially your business. You want to make sure that solar is right for you. You want to determine the length of time you're going to be in your home. Like, think about, am I going to be here the next 15 or 20 years? Is it really worth it? Your roof direction plays a big role in whether or not you would even benefit from having solar panels installed. You have to do some math with solar. Are you even using enough energy that's gonna benefit your electricity bill? And you will need to look at your monthly statements. Look at your monthly statements, do the math, and see if it's even going to benefit you. And solar contractors will help determine your roof direction and could give you information on whether or not your house would benefit from solar. And I do want you to know that there are some solar scams out there. So you might receive a flyer on your doorstep, or maybe you're out and about and you might see a little advertisement that says solar, free solar. Those are not true. Do not pay attention to those. If you're really considering going solar, we have a Solar Smart page on our website. So educate yourself before doing that. And again, if you are hiring someone to install solar panels, don't let the payments get ahead of the work. Get everything in writing and make sure you understand the contract terms. And I want you to always check a license. So we always check a license before you hire somebody. If the job is worth $500 or more for labor and materials combined, visit our website and check out their license profile there. We have some excellent resources available. The tips that I covered, as well as information that I covered in this presentation, are available in hard copy, and you can request those through our email address, which I'm going to show you on our next slide. You can also visit us at cslb.ca.gov/seniors for a helpful video. And thank you so much for having me today. You can follow us online. Again, if you would like some hard copy materials, you can send me an email at cslbinfo@cslb.ca.gov or give us a call at our 800 number. And thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the seminar. I'd like to hand it over to Sally. And I'm going to do that right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie.
Mhm.
Go ahead and try. Oh, here we go. Okay. So thank you, Natalie, for a wonderful presentation. And before I get started, I just want to let everyone know that you can go ahead and put your questions in the Q&A box or in the chat function, and all of our panelists will go ahead and answer your questions at the end. Remember that this webinar is being recorded, so please do not include any personal information in the questions. So According to FBI's latest internet crime report, Americans over the age of 60 lost $3.1 billion to fraud in 2022. That's almost double $1.7 billion lost in 2021. So what can you do to protect yourself from fraud, to protect yourself from financial fraud? Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank Assembly Ward and his staff and the Contract State License Board for hosting this very important webinar. My name is Sally Westlake, and I'm the Targeted Outreach Specialist for a state agency called Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. So who are we? What do we do? Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. We are a state agency, formerly the Department of Business Oversight. We are a consumer protection agency. We regulate, license, and oversee financial service providers, including financial institutions, products, and professionals. We conduct exams to ensure state and federal compliance, and we pursue legal actions against those entities, businesses, or professionals that are acting or conducting business unfairly or illegally. We investigate consumer complaints and we educate consumers like we're doing here today. Here is a partial list of some of the licensees that we regulate or oversee. That includes state chartered banks and credit unions, residential mortgage loan servicers, California finance lenders, PACE administrators, your escrow agents, payday loans, money transmitters, including PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, and our investment advisors, broker-dealers, credit repair agencies, consumer credit reporting companies, and many more. You can get a complete list on our website at dfpi.ca.gov or give us a call toll-free at 866-275-2677. If you remember anything from my presentation today, this is it. I want you to stop, look, and think before you click, tap, or send money. Here is a list, a partial list of some of the trending fraud and scams that are happening out there. That includes tech support scams, romance scams, wrong text message scam, online shopping scams, grandparent relative scam, the list goes on. But today I'm going to be focusing on AI scams, AI investment scams, and government and business imposters. We all know, everyone, whether it's our family member or a friend, a neighbor that has been a victim of financial fraud. Here is an example. A mom got a call and it said, "Mom, these bad men have me." And she believed that these scammers actually cloned her daughter's voice in a fake kidnapping. It sounded real. It really sounded like her daughter. She didn't know what to do, and she did the right thing by hanging up the call and calling everyone she knows. And starting off with her daughter's phone, obviously. But you go on and you want to confirm and verify. This is a new take on a grandparent scam. Call, video message asking for help or money from a family member. What you want to do is verify. Password, phrase, something we're considering doing or encouraging everyone to do is create a family password or a phrase so that if something like this happened, you're able to say, "Hey, please ask my daughter what her family password is." Just to confirm, is she really there? Has your daughter really been kidnapped? Now, here's the truth. It only takes 3 words, a recorded voice, 3 words from you for the scammers to use artificial intelligence to actually create sentences, more words, phrases that really sound just like you. So what are you going to do? You're going to stop, look, and think. Here is some examples of AI investment scams. So, person meets a friendly stranger. It might be through a wrong text message or on social media. Really friendly, nice, you build a rapport and you kind of think, okay, this sounds great. And they're talking to you about, oh, you know what? My cousin's an expert on investing, on crypto assets. And I've actually invested $500 and I'm already at 2,000. and it's only been a month, right? And you start to believe them. And they ask you to, okay, what you want to do is download this investment app. They give you the link, they send you the link, and you create an account, you download the app, and you say, okay, I'll put in $500. And you start to invest. And you start to see that your investment growing, right? And this is called pig butchering. When these scammers start to get you to invest in small amounts and then larger and larger and larger until they know they have all of your money, or you start to question, is this real? Or you start to ask, can I take out my money? They're basically fattening up the investor, the victim. And as soon as they know they've got all the money, they're gone. Poof. Okay, you can't contact them. Nothing is real on that app. You can't withdraw your money. There's an example here locally on Channel 9 News within the last week where an 80-year-old woman met a friendly stranger, started investing through an app, and she lost $720,000. An 80-year-old lady. Is she going to get the money back? Most likely not. Some investments also claim to use AI technology to make money for investors. They claim that, hey, we have this algorithm using AI technology where we can beat the market. Instead of making 10% over 20 years to the stock market, oh, we can get you 15% within a month. Does it sound too good to be true? Probably is. So here's some red flags you need to look out for. When someone asks you to invest in crypto assets, that should be a red flag. Someone you've never met, someone you don't know. And it could be somebody through that you may know. You need to do your own research. Make sure you understand exactly what it is you're investing in. Investments that also seem too good to be true, probably is. Investments also promoted on social media, red flags. Investments also that pay commissions to investors to recruit. That's a Ponzi scheme. When they say, oh, hey, you can make $1,000 in a week and you can make 2,000 if you bring in another victim, another potential victim to invest in the money. So what do you need to do? With red flags, stop, look, and think before you invest with someone you've never met. Let's look at government and business imposter scams. You may get a phone call, a message left on your answering machine, and the caller ID says it's the IRS. They leave a threatening message. They say, oh, Mrs. Jones, you owe $2,500 from last year's taxes that you didn't pay. If you don't pay it by today, we're going to go ahead and issue a warrant. So you need to call us back at 1-800-555-SCAM. What are you going to do? You're going to stop, look, and think. Government agencies do not call you out of the blue. They are not going to take payment over the phone. They will send you letters in writing. And if you ever get a call like that, you never call back the number that's actually left on the answering machine. What you will do is go to the source. You will Google IRS, customer service number, Social Security Administration, utility company, or financial institution they claim to be. Never call back that number. I know it's kind of really frustrating right now. We get calls on our answering machine every day, on our cell phone, on our landlines, from your bank, from IRS. And right now with the elections coming up, you're getting a lot of robocalls about that as well. Again, stop, look, and think. Okay, don't click on any links or call numbers, and you're going to verify the source. And if you happen to get on a call with an unsolicited caller, do not engage. And just like Natalie mentioned, say no. It's okay to say no. You do not have to be nice. You say no and you hang up. And what will you not do? You will not wire money. You will not go get prepaid gift cards or send money cryptocurrency-wise through those ATMs now that's available like in 7-Eleven and some gas stations. You are not going to send money any other way to someone you don't know and someone you've never met in person. Some red flags, again, when it comes to scammers, these scammers are very convincing. They play on your emotions. They create a sense of urgency. They leave you threatening messages. They want you to act quickly. And they also want you to keep it a secret. And again, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Scammers might ask for wire transfers, prepaid cards, gift cards, cryptocurrency, any of these ways where they're asking you to send money. Fraud alert, fraud alert. Remember, gift cards are for gifts only. You do not buy gift cards, send the back of the gift card number to anybody you don't know who it is, and you only buy gift cards to give as a gift to friends and family. Tips for fraud and scam prevention. What can you do? Again, remember, gift cards are for gifts only. Never give personal information unless you initiated the contact, unless you know who's on the other end. Don't return calls left on your voicemail. You're going to verify and go to the source and call the real number, whether it's on the back of your debit card, calling the bank, or again, Googling, making sure you have the correct number. Unknown call numbers, don't answer the phone. Unfortunately, we can't. And through spoofing, they can make any phone number look like it's coming from another number. So they can make calls, on your caller ID that says it's the IRS, Social Security Administration. Again, don't answer or just hang up. Remember, government agencies do not call you out of the blue. Don't click on any links sent via text or email. You can check the URL address by hovering over any link, and you should see the real address or the website you're going to end up at. And it shouldn't be something like bit.ly.scam.com. It should actually be going to bankofamerica.com. Consider monitoring and freezing your credit. You can get a free credit report from all three of the credit reporting agencies at annualcreditreport.com. And if you're done accessing your credit, you're not going to buy a new house, you're not going to buy a new car, or open up a credit card, you're pretty much done with all the accounts that you currently have, you may want to consider freezing your credit. And the reason being is that it protects you from identity theft. Verify that there is an issue. Again, go to the source yourself. Make sure you know who it is you're calling. Again, never send money to someone you have not met in person, and report fraud. Why is it important to report frauds? It helps protect other people in the future. So you're going to start by contacting us at the FBI if it is a financial related fraud. You can go on our website at dfpi.ca.gov and to file a formal complaint. You are also going to want to report it to your local law enforcement. You have to do this. Next, you may go to other resources to report scams and fraud, and that would be the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And if it's related to a cyber or internet crime, you're going to want to report it to the FBI at ic3.gov. I'll be honest with you, once you report a fraud, you may not hear back from some of these agencies. And that's because they gather so many complaints and so many reports, they may not be able to get back to you right away. But what they're doing is they're gathering all that data about your complaint and your fraud case. And then if they can eventually have enough information to go after somebody, some of these scammers, that's when you'll be contacted. And really, I'm going to be honest here. If you've been a victim of fraud and you report it, the likelihood of you getting any of that money back is very slim, especially if it's like Zelle or Venmo fraud. That money's gone instantly and very hard to trace. Your banks will tell you, you authorize a transfer, so the bank is not going to be responsible. So you want to be really careful with how you send money to people you don't know. And you want to get educated about the latest and most harmful cyber threats out there. That's going to help protect you and your assets and your family. Again, here's our contact information for the DFPI. You can get more information on our website. Call us toll free at 866-275-4999. 2677. You can also email us, or you can subscribe also to our Consumer Connection monthly newsletter. This information is also available on our website. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to go ahead and close out with, remember, stop, look, and think before you click, tap, or send money. Again, please go ahead and submit your questions, and we'll go ahead and answer them at the end. Next, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our next speaker, Sharon from the California Department of Insurance. Sharon, you're on mute.
All right, can everyone see my screen though? Is that all good? Fantastic. Thank you so much for the introduction, Sally. Again, my name is Sharon Smith. I am the Outreach Analyst at the California Department of Insurance. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be here. I'm going to start with a brief overview of the Department of Insurance. I'm going to discuss some common insurance scams you might see, and then close with resources available to you from our department. So the California Department of Insurance, also known as the CDI, is a state agency. We regulate the insurance marketplace to protect consumers from fraud and abuse. We regulate most lines of insurance. That includes auto, life, health insurance, homeowners insurance. Any companies that are selling insurance in California, we regulate the companies, the agents, the brokers. The CDI also oversees insurer solvency. We license agents and brokers, we conduct market reviews, we resolve consumer complaints, and we investigate and prosecute insurance fraud. If you're having any issues with your insurance company, your agent, your broker, you can call us for help. We have a hotline that I'll share later on where we have dedicated agents that are able to assist. All right, so reports indicate that seniors are the largest population targeted for scams. And that is mostly because you have accumulated wealth. You have accumulated money in your homes, in your life insurance, in your retirement savings. And scam agents, they want a piece of your hard-earned savings. The good news is that there are a lot of protection programs for seniors. And by being here today, you will all know what are those types of things you should be looking out for. Okay, so I want to first start off with one of the most popular scams that we see in California, and that is annuities scams. Californians spend on average about $20 billion on annuities. That's a lot of money to be made off of you. So an annuity is just a contract between you and your insurance company. You buy it, you're making one or more premium payments over a period of time, and then in return, they make income payments to you for a fixed period of time in the future. It's often used as an investment vehicle for retirement income, and it's sold by licensed insurance agents, usually with some sort of financial background. Agents love to sell these because they get really big upfront commissions from them. But the twisting and the churning starts 12 to 18 months later, because there is a 7-year surrender charge for annuities, meaning there's a big penalty for you to take your money out if you need it beforehand. So 12, 18 months later, you get a call from an insurance agent that might not have your best interest at heart, and they tell you you need to switch to a better annuity. You take the penalty and they take a huge upfront commission. So there is a really big tax implication for you to take out that money. If you have a financial advisor whom you've been working with for years, they understand your financial goals, your financial picture, how much risk tolerance you have, and they suggest an annuity for your portfolio and explains the ins and outs of that annuity, the pros and cons, then an annuity might be the right investment for you. But again, make sure you're asking the right questions, really looking into it, and not taking out that money early. And the decision to buy an annuity isn't one that you should have to be forced to make right away. Sleep on it, think about it, talk to another family member about it, or somebody that you trust. Always, if it's a good deal today, it'll be a good deal tomorrow. All right, some other insurance scams that we see at the California Department of Insurance are premium theft and staged auto accidents. So premium theft occurs when you buy an insurance policy from an agent or a broker, and they never actually buy, place, or bind the policy with the insurance company. So I know you're thinking to yourself, well, how does that happen? If I give them the money, of course I have a policy. But if you think back to all the insurance policies you have right now, let's say you have a life insurance policy, a car policy, think of it right now. Do you have a receipt for those policies? Do you have a copy of the policy? Do you have a statement? This is how they're able to get away with those types of things. So whether they're currently licensed or not, some scam agents are going to go a great length to steal. So again, it's important to ask the right questions. Now, staged auto accident fraud, believe it or not, still does occur. About 10 people were caught in a staged accident fraud ring just last August. They took in about $100,000 in false claims or fraudulent claims over the span of 4 years before they were caught. So it's important to not ever give anyone cash. Sally said it just right before, when don't give out any cash, especially after an accident, to settle an accident. Sometimes scammers will take that money and then they'll claim bodily injury, even if it's a minor fender bender, and they file a claim against your insurance company. And then your rates go up because they filed a bodily injury claim. So again, never exchange just cash for those types of accidents. And there are many different types of staged auto accidents, but the important thing to remember is to take a deep breath, relax, don't feel rushed to make any decisions at the site of an accident. You don't want to admit fault, and all the information that you should share with the other person that's in the accident is simply your insurance policy. Don't disclose your coverage limits. Don't disclose anything beyond your insurance carrier information. And then if the accident is bad, if you are really still on edge about it, you just have a gut feeling that something isn't right, call the police, and as always, call your insurance company. One more insurance scam that has been happening that we've seen is COVID-19 scams. Scammers are out there preying on COVID-19 fears by offering COVID-19 tests or cures in exchange for personal information. However, a lot of these services are unapproved or illegitimate. So fraudsters are using phone calls and text messages, social media, door-to-door visits, all to steal your information. They fraudulently take in your medical information and then bill federal healthcare programs or commit medical identity theft. So if Medi-Cal, Medicare deny your claim, then you could be held responsible for the cost. Like many fraud scams that are going around, the COVID-19 fraud is happening and rapidly developing. So you want to be cautious of unsolicited requests always for personal information, but especially anything related to your Medicare and Medi-Cal account numbers. And then again, if you suspect fraud, always take action and report it. If you suspect COVID-19 insurance fraud, you can call the Office of the Inspector General at 1-800-447-8477 or visit that website. All right, so what are some insurance scam warning signs? Now, we all know the adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And that is definitely the case here. So if you have insurance agents coming and giving free seminars in sites like assisted living centers or retirement communities, or maybe even at your church, and they're offering free meals and nice restaurants, all of that is to kind of rope you in, gain your trust so that they can sell you something. A lot of times these agents are creating or updating something they call a senior retirement living trust. And they call themselves Senior Retirement Living Trust Specialist. This is their own designation. This isn't something that is recognized by the California Department of Insurance. They're looking for your financial information, and it is up to you to guard it. So there are many agents in the past, one of which was named Agent Stoddard. He was based out of San Clemente. he was running one of these retirement living trust scams, and he was able to steal $1.2 million from his clients before he was caught. Again, they're still going through that process to try to get some of that money back. But there are many agents out there that are great and will give you the correct information. Don't be dissuaded from not going to see an insurance agent, but you do want to be very cautious when it comes to any type of insurance annuity, any type of living trust. Seniors also have more rights when it comes to insurance that they might not know about. The Senior Insurance Bill of Rights, the full list can be found on our website, but one of the most important that you might want to remember is that you have the ability to review any sort of life, annuity, long-term care, Medicare supplement policy. You can review that policy, and within 30 days, you can decide whether you want to keep it or not. And if you do decide that you don't want the policy, you can return it for a full refund. So that is really important to know. After 30 days, if you feel like something's not right, you do reserve the right to cancel that policy. Oops. All right. Some other steps to avoid becoming a victim of an insurance scam is to check our website at the California Department of Insurance. You can check the status of an insurance company, an insurance agent, and you can check if they're in good standing. You can check if there's been any complaints against them. That's always a great first step when you're trying to find somebody reputable. You should always answer any questions on a policy thoroughly, truthfully, and carefully. Any false statements or omissions when you're trying to fill out a policy can lead for that policy to be canceled. And if you leave some blanks, sometimes dishonest agents will fill in those blanks without your approval and sign you up for things or add on things that you might not know or might not want. So it's important always, always, always to get everything in writing, compare policies, definitely never pay in cash. And when you are making checks to pay out these policies, you want to make sure they're being written out to the insurance company. It shouldn't ever be written out to your agent's name. You're paying that insurance company for the policy. And again, don't buy coverage you can't afford. Don't be pressured to buy coverage you can't afford. It is okay to say no. And as always, you want to ask the important questions. This is with any type of insurance policy. What does the policy cover? What's excluded? How much is it going to cost? And how often is it going to cost me? Are there any charges, any surrender charges or penalties? And consider having somebody else come with you, somebody that you really trust, because agents, they know how to use some high pressure sales tactics, and having someone there as backup might help those types of situations. My second to last slide here. If you suspect fraud, call someone and report it. Here are 3 different organizations you can call. One is the Department of Insurance. This is our hotline number. We have the Senior Medicare Patrol, the AARP Fraud Watch Network hotline, the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud. You won't report there, but that does have some further information. Some senior resources that you can find from our department are available on our Senior Gateway. That's our website. It's just a one-stop shop that's intended to provide seniors, their families, their caregivers with all the information they need for services and resources. You can find a lot of answers to questions about insurance on there, and including like avoiding and reporting abuse and neglect, preventing fraud, financial abuse, and common scams. There's a lot of really great information on that website. So please visit www.seniors.insurance.ca.gov. It's right there. It's a great site. It has all of the things you might need. And lastly, if you do have any more specific questions, if you feel like you've been a victim of insurance fraud, please call our hotline. It is 800-927-4357. That is the end of my presentation. I'm going to pass it on to Veronica Kilpatrick from the Department of Real Estate.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending here with us. My name is Rebecca Kilpatrick, and I work for the Department of Real Estate. I am the Southern California Law Enforcement Liaison, and also I am the district manager for the San Diego area, which covers the counties of Riverside, San Diego, and Imperial County. Today, I'm gonna first talk to you a little bit about the DRE, some common real estate fraud schemes, and tips to prevent real estate. I'm first going to start with the mission of the California Department of Real Estate, and that is to safeguard and promote the public interest in real estate matters. But our primary goal is to protect the consumer in real estate transactions. The DRE regulates the Real Estate in the Subdivided Lands Act, which means that we oversee the licensed applicants, the licensees, and unlicensed persons that conduct activities that may require a real estate license. The department issues real estate license and regulates activities in enforcement through education, investigations, audits, administrative prosecution to go after the licenses. And we also regulate subdivision offerings, which means all the new houses, we usually make sure that they issue a public report to make sure that all the disclosures in the development are addressed in the public report that you get before you purchase a home. The DRE regulates the licenses and the activities that require a license. And how do we do that? Well, we do that background check. We deny the licenses. If someone is unlicensed and they conduct activity that requires a license, we issue citations and fines. And it's per act, not per transaction, about $2,500. Cite and fines are also issued to licensees who violate minor technical violations of the real estate law. And we also issue desist and refrain orders. We issue those orders to individuals or companies that are conducting license activities without a real estate license. We also have the power to do bar orders. And what that is we could bar someone from the industry from holding any type of position for after 3 years. And that's someone who is probably doing unlicensed activity, and we have issued them a desist and refrain order, and they have not stopped doing the activities. We also will file accusations and will revoke license or restrict licenses of licensees who have violated the real estate law. We are a department that operates statewide, and we have 5 offices. I am located in the San Diego office, and we just moved to the Spectrum area in Kearny Mesa. But the other addresses are located in the slide in front of you. What are common real estate violations? Well, we do find a lot of trust fund violations, and that includes shortage, conversion, record keeping, and those are found in property management activities and in escrow. We also, like I mentioned before, we have a license activity, and that usually we see it in sales when you buy or sell a property, and primarily who are not licensed and they're conducting property management activities. The other one is misrepresentation and dishonest dealing. This is in transactions where they fail to disclose some information or they lie to get you to do something. And then, of course, we have the standard compliance and advertising, which either they don't put their license, they don't tell you what company they work for, or they just have false advertisement. They embellish the information, or they just simply use the advertising to get you to come to them. And then the last one is broker supervision. In real estate, a salesperson may not work for themselves. The real estate law requires a two-step process, meaning that the salespersons work under a broker. If a person does not have a broker, they may not work in real estate. That's their supervisor. That's the person that's actually authorized. The other ones are just agents for them. There is certain type of targeted real estate fraud against the seniors, and some of them are the unlicensed property managers. A lot of people have already a nest egg. They have some rentals. They also do online rental fraud or ID theft for those that actually are trying to rent properties. Foreclosure rescue schemes, those are when you've fallen behind on your mortgage and they try, or they say they will help you rescue your home. Real property investment schemes, again, you have a nest egg and they're trying to get to that or to your equity. And so they will propose deals that earn. And then we have the real property recordation fraud. That's when someone actually records a lien on your property or transfers title. And then we see one that's popular, timeshares. And it's not necessarily the sale of the timeshare in California, but is the exit strategies. You own a timeshare for a long period of time, and now you want to get out because those maintenance fees, you don't want to pay them anymore. You don't visit it, and there's really no easy way to get out of those timeshares unless you negotiated with the timeshare company. But there's a lot of people that will promise that they could sell it, gift it, if you just pay them those fees, and really they just take your money. Why do they target the senior citizens? I kind of mentioned a little bit about it, but they are the most likely sector of the population that have a nest egg. They're also very polite and trusting. Report the fraud because they're either too ashamed, they don't want to tell anyone they've been taken advantage, or sometimes they don't even know that they have been scammed. A lot of the times, senior citizens do not want their relatives, their children, their other children to find out, and they want to handle it themselves. And in some cases, we have seen that some seniors are being taken advantage of when they no longer have the mental capacity to enter into contracts. A little while ago, I mentioned the most type of fraud schemes against seniors, and one of them was misrepresentation and dishonest dealing. So I'm going to give you some examples of what those are, and some of them are in the real property, higher rates of return. Sometimes they tell you you're investing in a specific property like a flip. Sometimes they're saying if you invest in my company without identifying a property, this is what we're going to do. And sometimes seniors will use their nest egg because they're on a fixed income and they will like to make a little more. The other one is the property convince individuals to add them or to transfer title to them. And a lot of the times it happens when they befriend the senior and they offer to take care of a loan or speak with the company, especially if they're behind on their mortgage, or they use it as a strategy to prevent the filing of a lien or foreclosure lenders and make it easier. Or if they want to get a refinance and they don't qualify because they don't have the income, they will convince the person that this is a way to do it so they could get the money back. Some other times they don't actually convince you to do that. They just know that you may not know, and they will record fraudulent liens. A lot of the times, the counties, once a lien is recorded, they will send to the previous address recorded with them and to the new address notification that there's a lien that is recorded. You need to pay attention to those and contact the county right away. There are some counties that will help you figure out and fight those fraudulent liens recorded. Some counties do not have the ability to do that, or legal aid to help you do that, or just an attorney, but at least you have notification right away that someone's trying to steal your title. And then the other one, another way that some either licensees get to transfer title is to get power of attorney. And we have seen it in a few times in my office where it's almost like the first situation apply. There's something going on either with the mortgage company or with the lender, or they're trying to get a refinance, and they tell the seniors that it's too complicated for them and it will be easier if they handle it. So they're not actually, in this case, asking you to transfer the title. They're asking you to give them power of attorney so they could talk to the lender. And when they do that, once they have the power of attorney, they themselves could transfer the title. They don't need you to sign off on that. And we have seen that in a few occasions, unfortunately. A lot of the times, this goes back to trust. They're able to get you trust because they visit you, they explain to you, they're very friendly, and it doesn't happen immediately. It usually takes a grooming period before you trust them enough to give them power of attorney or to transfer title. Some of the scams involving property management, this is for those of you that own rentals, is you have to read your property management carefully. First, you have to figure out if it's a salesperson or a broker. A little while ago, I said only a broker, a salesperson could work through a broker. So only a broker is able, you have to verify who owns the trust account, and if the account where they're depositing the money is actually a trust account. You need proof, otherwise the money is not protected, and it could they could mismanage it. It could be taken by the IRS or any other people because it's not protected as a trust account. And usually, if it's not under the broker, they're doing something wrong. Who will be holding the tenant security deposit? And that is, are you going to keep it, or are you going to let the company keep it? If they're going to keep it, it has to remain on the trust account. Also, you have to read who's going to get those late fees. A lot of the property management companies that we have disciplined, they get to charge the fees, $50, $100, and they get to keep them, even though the rent proceeds were late and they belong to the landlord. Also, you have to determine the amount of repairs that can be made without your authorization. It usually should be minor, between $300 to $500. We have had licensees who have been disciplined, who have spent thousands of dollars, or say they have spent thousands of dollars on repairs. Also, ask if the company will be upcharging the repairs. Someone fixed the bathroom for $100, but your management company is charging you $500. They're making a $400 markup. So you need to know if they're going to do that. This is information that must be disclosed. And if they're doing it, they will tell you they're doing it at the percentage. So disclosure makes it legal, because then you know what you're getting into and it's okay for you to mark it up. The undisclosure is what makes it unlawful. Also, you have to ask about third-party vendors. Do they own the repair and the clean with those companies? A higher fee than if you were with third parties. And again, it is not unlawful if they own it. You just have to know that they have an interest, and then you have the right to ask them to use a different company or to shop around. And then also verify how the tenants are going to be screened. A lot of the times there's no screening, and you end up with a tenant that will destroy your property or never had the means to pay for the rent. Now we're moving into the loan modification scams and foreclosure risk scams. I know that we saw that much more in previous years, but after COVID, we're seeing a rise in the loan modification scams again. And foreclosure, that's when you're behind, you're in arrears in your mortgage, and you need to make some arrangements. There are, I will charge you $5,000 to speak to your lender to lower the rate to make sure they forgive this. If you use a real estate license, you must verify first that they're licensed, and two, that they hold a mortgage loan endorsement. That's an extra license so they could conduct or negotiate loans. And three, that they have an agreement with the Department of Real Estate that they have verified so they could charge some fees. And they have to charge them as they go through. If they don't have a real estate license, they have to be registered with the California Attorney General. And before you sign anything on this loan modifications, know that you could go to a HUD-approved housing counselor that would do this for free, and they will help you. Or if you don't want to go to a housing counselor, you could simply call your lender and ask for loan modifications and ask to talk to them and see what your options are. If you feel like you need to go with the company, make sure again they're licensed. Go to the BBB and see if you have any complaints. Once you go to the Business Bureau, you will see that if there's complaints and what type of complaints they are. But the best course of action is to use a HUD-approved housing counselor if you find yourself that you have issues paying or making your mortgage payment. What are some red flags? I think I covered some of this. To spot this is unlicensed companies or individuals. Always go to the Department of Real Estate, enter their name, and figure out if a company is licensed and if they haven't had any disciplinary actions. If they promise 100% that they guarantee success, then you know there's something wrong. Not everyone qualifies for that. Again, if they request a power of attorney so they could negotiate better, say no. If they ask you to transfer title to a party so then you don't get foreclosed and they delay the foreclosure, usually ends up being bad, and then you don't have your title once everything gets arranged. If they promise that your credit can be repaired by making the payments, not to ask you to transfer title or pretend to sell it to someone and then you rent it back and then you have your home. Or they ask you, again, to make payments to someone other than your lender or your servicer. And especially if they ask you to file bankruptcy to force the lender to negotiate. If you feel you need to file bankruptcy, you need to consult with the bankruptcy attorney. You do not let the licensee talk you into this, and you do want to check with more than one individual before you go that route. And also a big red flag is when they're helping you and they ask you not only to not contact the lender or housing counselor, but if you get contacted by your lender, to not make any contact with them, to not engage them. And the reason why is because you may cut on that they are not doing anything to advise you to miss payments, and this is usually not to your benefit. For those of you that rent, identity theft and rental scams are very prevalent, especially in this area. They will, nowadays, a lot of the information is online on applications. And what a lot of the crooks are doing is they're taking pictures and information from homes that have never been for rent. They may be for sale and they may be vacant, and they advertise them. And they advertise them usually for a very low price. And usually when you try to see the property, they will tell you that either they're on vacation and out of the area just to drive by the property, or they live in another state and they can't make it. So they will ask you to do that. And then of course, then you Venmo the money because it's such a good deal that you want to save it. And then you never see that. And then you later find out that the property was never for rent. And we may never be able to get you money back because the person is in another state or sometimes even in another country. To avoid being a victim, you always need to ask for a full name and contact information. Again, verify whether they're licensed or not. If, and I'm not just talking about out of state, but if they're in Sacramento, San Francisco, and they're not local, always Google the number that they give you because they'll give you an indication, but also Google the name. A lot of the times they will say their name is Veronica Kilpatrick and they will use their name. So different phone numbers. So if you actually Google my name, then you will get a different information. So contact that information to verify that person is who they say they're in. Department of individuals actually stealing the identity of licensees. And the way,
Veronica,
yes,
we're getting a little bit of static from your end. If you could possibly just keep sharing your screen, but if you could possibly turn off your video, I think that might be able to help fix some of those static issues.
okay. So does that sound better?
I think we'll figure out once you continue. Sorry.
No problem. I'm sorry about that. I was saying a lot of the licensees have been the victims of identity theft. They use their picture, they use a different phone number, and the reason some of those victims have avoided being victims is they actually Google the information and figure out that the person was in a different area and call them to verify that. Also, never rent anything without viewing and touring the property inside. Don't ever pay any monies without viewing the property, and never ever pay cash or wire transfer. Always get everything in writing. Never sign anything that you do not understand. And the biggest red flag is if the rent or the in the area. Going back to the property management and related to this, always get copies of management agreements, get copies of the lease once the property company gets a tenant in. Always request proof of repairs and other expenses so you could verify them, and always review monthly statements. Always contact the Department of Real Estate if any of the proceeds are late. Once your rental monies are late, then there's possibly a problem with your money. The department has had some audits that are not complaint related, but we just go and audit some of the property companies, and we've realized that they have been in business for a long time, and usually they're able to pay everyone their monthly rental amounts, but they're missing hundreds of thousands of dollars in security deposits because they've spent it. And usually someone is not aware of that embezzlement until a big company closes their doors, and then everyone's looking for the money and the money's missing. So the department does a lot of proactive audits of property management companies. So the biggest tip, and this is related to what some of my colleagues from the other departments said, is stop, think, observe, and then proceed. Always be vigilant when you're contacted by strangers. Ask a lot of questions. Do not be rushed to act right now. If something is meant to be, it will be. You need to have time to think about it. You need, when they guarantee anything, and always put everything in writing. And like someone else said, do not sign a blank document or documents with blank spaces. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you're going to use engage in real estate transactions, only use DRE licensees instead of unlicensed individuals. Again, never paying cash, wire, or in this case, use Venmo or Zelle. Never paid for home loan or foreclosure relief services in advance. And never sign anything, especially loan agreements that you do not understand, have not read, or contain blank spaces. I know nowadays it is very common for someone to send you a document via DocuSign. And we had an article not too long ago that we put up where it says that a page of about 10 pages, which is the purchase agreement contract, was signed and reviewed in less than 38 seconds, which meant that the parties opened the document and they just went to all the areas where their signature was needed, and they never actually read the documents. Probably just the first page of the price, but none of the other terms. And so please make sure you take the time to fully read and understand what you're signing. And you could always call the Department of Real Estate and we will be glad to go over the documents with you. Avoid scammers who advertise on TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, on the internet and social media. Just because someone sounds professional, and again, never sign your home to a third party or give them power of attorney. Also, although the county send you documents letting you know that there has been a change in your title, you could always go to the county yourself and then just check the title just to make sure that there haven't been any changes. The Department of Real Estate offers many publications, articles, and other resources for consumers, and you could find them at www.dre.ca.gov. And you could always call us at 877-373-4542. We always have someone on staff in person and over the phone who will be able to answer questions regarding any transactions that you may have, or if you need help and assistance filing a complaint against the licensee or an unlicensed person that needed to have a license. My presentation is done for the day. I know that we're moving into the question section, so I will toss it over to the organizer.
Alrighty, if you could also unshare your screen, Veronica.
I'm trying. Stop share. There we go.
Alrighty, well, I just want to go ahead and thank everybody for attending today. Now we are going to get into our questions. I also want to give a special thanks to the residents of St. Paul's Manor for joining us live and in person. But with further ado, let's go ahead and get into some questions. Okay, so the first question here is a three-parter, but I'll go ahead and just take it piece by piece. So we have an anonymous question come in. I currently have Medi-Cal, but I'm required to sign up for Medicare by the time I turn 65 this year, or I face penalties. What happens to my Medi-Cal insurance? Can I have both insurances?
I can take that one. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if anyone else can answer that, but the Department of Insurance just regulates private insurance companies or insurance companies that are selling to consumers. Medi-Cal and Medicare is its own department and things, so you would have to reach out to them for assistance there.
I can answer that you can have both Medi-Cal and Medicare. You are allowed to have both. What you need to do is call HICAP, HICAP, for more information. They are through the California Department of Aging. You can go to their website or just Google HICAP, which stands for Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program, and they can answer your specific questions about Medicare. Now, okay, I'll stop there and get to the rest of the questions.
Okay, perfect. We have a question from Lou Binford. This question says, does the 10% down payment rule for seniors apply to all construction jobs, even bath and kitchen remodels?
That rule applies to all home improvement related work. So anytime you hire a home improvement contractor to do work on your home, bath, kitchen remodels, the 10% or $1,000 rule does apply, and all licensed contractors are aware of that rule.
Okay, and then we also have a question from Maureen McNulty. Who regulates fiduciaries and how to report concerns?
Okay, so no one here regulates fiduciaries, and we're talking about professional fiduciaries and not family members. But Department of Consumer Affairs, they actually created a bureau under the law regulating fiduciaries. So you can either go to Department of Consumer Affairs or you can go to www.fiduciary.ca.gov and you can look up their license number as well as more information and then about how to file a complaint if need be.
Thank you so much. So that was all the questions from our chat here in Zoom, but I was wondering if we had any questions from those tuning in from St. Paul's Manor. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions coming in from St. Paul's then. I guess we'll just go to, any closing remarks, anything that any of our panelists would like to share before we close out for the day.
I can go ahead and start. If you'd like to contact us and file a complaint regarding any financial scams or one of our licensees, you can contact us at www.dfpi.ca.gov or call us at 866-275-2677. Thank you for being here today.
And if you have any issues regarding insurance, you can call us at the California Department of Insurance at 800-927-4357, and that's 800-927-HELP. Thank you.
And regarding any contractors or home improvement needs, I put our link, our website in the chat. You can give us a call at 800-321-CSLB or 2752. And you can send me an email at cslbinfo@cslb.ca.gov. Our website is cslb.ca.gov/seniors. I look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions. Thank you so much for your time.
And this is Veronica here. I apologize. I was not aware I was having technical issues, but please come and see us at the Department of Real Estate. We love to have walk-ins, or you could just call us at 877-373-4542. Thank you.
Alrighty, and once again, you can always reach out to our office, the Office of Assembly Member Ward. My name is Michael Bravo. Our district number is 619-280-7801. You can also email our public email at assemblymember.ward@asm.ca.gov. If you have any questions, you can send our way. We'd love to be able to help. Once again, I want to thank the California State License Board. I want to thank the Department of Financial Protection and Insurance. I want to thank the Department of Real Estate, and of course, also thank our Department of Insurance for attending this webinar. We thankfully appreciate your participation for informing our senior population, and we wish you all an amazing day.